evening, sir.
Good evening. My name is Nathan Black. We are the Black family. We live and farm in Halifax, Mecklenburg, and Person counties, though we own land in the Bannister district of Pennsylvania. My sons and I have prepared this presentation for you tonight. 30 years before Pittsylvania was established, my ancestor Richard Lane in 1746 brought his family to settle in these rolling hills near what is today Elkhorn Lake. He was soon followed by other of my ancestral families, the Brookses, the Crawleys, the Wilsons, and others. Also in the 1740s, my wife's ancestors, the Sheltons and the Terrys, settled near Mount Airy and Pattonsburg. When the colonists decided to throw off the tyrannical king and form a new nation, our people participated in the Revolution. One of my ancestors, a resident of Pittsylvania County, Samuel Crowley, was killed. One of my wife's people was captured, placed on a British prisoner ship from which he escaped off the coast of Florida and traveled by foot back to South Carolina, re-enlisted there, and served the remainder of the war before returning home to Virginia. A few decades later, when the British once again made war on us, my ancestor Patrick May fought in the War of 1812. When Abraham Lincoln called on Virginia to provide him with troops for his planned invasion of South Carolina, Virginia said no way. And once again, our ancestors found themselves fighting in defense of the honor of Virginia. During the First World War, although the U.S. was never officially at war, my great-grandfather volunteered and fought in France to defeat the Nazi ideals of socialism. 20-some years later, when the Allies were planning the D-Day invasion because of his previous experience in France, he was called back into service, given the rank of colonel, and led our men once again to defeat the socialist Nazi agenda. My wife's grandfather was career in the Navy, my brother served in both the Iraq and Afghanistan campaigns, and my father-in-law served 27 years in the Army and recently passed at the age of 56, still employed as a consultant at Fort Bragg. Yes, I married an Army brat. Today in Pittsylvania County, my wife and I are blessed to own a 7-acre piece of land, a small portion of what her Terrykins settled on in the 1740s. My children have the great privilege of running and playing on the very soil their ancestors walked on some 275 years ago. I share this heritage with you because it is with this background that I found myself the other day reading all 272 pages of the proposed zoning ordinance changes, where to my astonishment, I discovered that if I choose to fly my Confederate flag or my neighbors their Black Lives Matter or Pride flags, or even the Christian flag flying in a churchyard, that we would be limited to a flag no larger than a 3 by 5,
30 seconds remaining.
which you see here. To say that governmental flags are unrestricted while imposing all other flags to a 16-square-foot standard is nothing less than discrimination based on content. Furthermore, I discovered that we will be limited to a maximum of 3 flags total. Now, I have one last flag to show you. Indeed, it is larger and not a flag at all. This is the size of a solar panel. A quick Google search informs me that the average solar farm contains
3 minutes is complete.
approximately 1,500 panels per acre. Recently on our road, a solar farm was approved on 15 tracts of land. If I had chosen to include our 7 acres in this solar project, we would have been allowed approximately 10,000 of these on our land. Instead, because we choose to keep our land in beautiful rural countryside, we will only be allowed this measly display of 3 flags. This is wrong. Our ancestors fought and died for this country to be free. And what better example of freedom than that a person be able to fly a flag in their own yard that represents who they are or aspire to be? I therefore ask you, if you have any respect for the people of Pittsylvania County, that you remove all restrictions on flagpoles.
You're going to have to wind it down. Your time has expired.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That you, if you have any respect for the people of Pittsylvania County, that you remove all restrictions on flagpoles and flag sizes in the proposed zoning ordinances and affirm the right of the people to fly whatever flag they identify with and as large as they wish on their own private property. Thank you for your time. May God bless the people of Southside Virginia.
Thank you, sir.
Alan Casper.